I hope that Armsmaster in his spare time uses his power to make tiny little miniature like dollhouse furniture and stuff. It's so cute. He can make like a teeny tiny little fully working refrigerator.
No, I'd like him too much if that was the case.
Welcome to Inchworm,
the podcast in which we're inching through Worm. I'm Jenny.
And I'm Ted.
And we read, what did we read? Is it 6.6?
6.6.
Oh, this chapter was great.
Yes.
Not quite as epic as her carving out Loong's eyes, but really satisfying.
Yeah.
I was so worried about them, and it turns out I didn't need to be because, as Taylor says, it was over from the minute they stepped into the room.
Ooh, yeah, wow.
She's so good at that. Like,
well, because it's funny,
great trait in the main character of a superpower.
Well, we've had a few beats
story
where I think maybe back in Arc 4, she was like trying to come up with like clever stuff to say. Like she was noting her failure to be quippy.
Oh,
but
that's
she
so
has
true.
Matured into it
in
a few
this
arcs
chapter.
later.
Oh.
Yeah, in
well,
this
I was
chapter.
thinking,
yeah.
like 2 chapters ago, she was like, I'm so bad at things that I haven't like prepared what to say.
Right, but she is very highly motivated in this scene.
That's true.
I love this chapter. It was so fun. Very long chapter.
Very long.
Maybe the
longest
absolutely,
so far.
Yeah.
By quite a bit. Yeah. The longest so far.
But yeah, I think for me, the just sort of like the foam gimmick wasn't what I wanted last chapter. And in this chapter, we got a lot of like cape versus cape stuff.
Oh, I see what you mean.
So satisfying.
Because I loved the foam gimmick.
No, I know.
But it wasn't power versus power, and this one really is.
Exactly. So this was my jam. And it's very, just going through my notes, being like, oh yeah, that was another fun power interaction. Oh yeah, that was so clever.
So many good ones. Yeah. And I'm just looking, because I just paged back to the beginning of the chapter. The opening lines of the chapter are so good. I mean, as you read last time, surrender, Armsmaster ordered us. No, Gru retorted. You're only going to embarrass yourself if you prolong this. Inaccurate. In fact, they embarrass him. That is the main thing that is accomplished in this chapter. His embarrassment.
Yeah.
I really feel like Armsmaster is becoming the main villain of the story. I don't think he's going to be the main villain for like forever, for the entire book, because I do think there are probably more pieces of the landscape. I mean, we haven't even met the boss. Who knows what's going on there? But he is like he's certainly the main superhero opponent.
Yeah. And we just, earlier this arc, Loong got taken into custody, who was kind of Taylor's other nemesis, right? I think it might be too early. Well, we should talk about where we think the Taylor-Armsmaster relationship could possibly go after this. But let's get into it. I think it's my turn to summarize.
It is your turn.
There's a lot here.
There's a lot.
Yeah, I'll try not to go too detailed into it, but it starts how you just said, where Armsmaster orders them to surrender. As part of that, Armsmaster is saying basically, hey, I've studied your powers, and I have tinkered myself a bunch of specific anti-Undersider tech. So, for example, he has like a tuning fork in his halberd that allows him to sense motion from air currents. So that's how he can get around Gru's darkness. He also can use the metal in the floor to create like an electric field that zaps bugs around him. That's how he can deal with Taylor's power. We learn later he has watched a lot of footage of Bitch and her dogs and has built like a simulation of their behavior into his heads-up display and his visor, so he can like basically predict how they're going to move and attack as they are doing it, or even before they do it. And then for Regent and Tattletale, he has built psychic and empathic shielding based on a little bit. I want to talk to you about what this means about Regent's power, like what he thinks Regent's power is. But for Tattletale in particular, he's going on a bad piece of intel that he got via Panacea from the bank job, where Tattletale says she's a psychic. And so his prep against Tattletale is whatever psychic shielding is. And it's not actually useful against her. She's still able to cold read him in this scene. And That's basically the first thing that happens is Tattletale tells us, well, it actually answers a question, which is how can Armsmaster do all of this cool tinker stuff? It's because his power is for condensing and integrating technology together. Miniaturization, basically. Taylor reflects later, anything that he can think of. Exactly. Anything that he can think of in advance, he can basically be prepared to have. And he can put it into his suit.
He's such a prepper.
Into his armor.
Approach.
Yeah, into his halberd. Has a lot of different modes and things.
I know that's not what prepper really means, but go on.
Yes. And he immediately uses his lie detector to suss out that Tattletale cannot read minds. But she doesn't really care about that because
Well, we don't know that she doesn't care about that, but she brushes it off.
Sure, she brushes it off. Yeah, she's great. She's great. Unflappable. Completely unflappable. Then she uses her actual power to announce to the room, and importantly to Taylor, you'll know I'm telling the truth when I say your team hates your guts. You care more about rising from your position as the 7th most prominent member of the Protectorate than you do about them or the city. Armsmaster responds to this by shooting a little, mini wrecking ball into Tattletale's stomach, incapacitating her for much of the rest of the fight and shutting her up. So Tattletale's been knocked out. Regent is being held at this point, machete point by Miss Militia. And Armsmaster is kind of standing off against Gru and Skitter. Bitch and Velocity, the 3rd remaining member of the Protectorate, have also been kind of standing off. And Armsmaster is like, hey, lift the darkness. Gru resists for a little bit, but finally...
It's pointed out that they won't be able to stage accidents against the Undersiders if everyone can see what's going on. You know, they can't accidentally cut off Regent's head or something.
Right. Yeah, they're very flip about Regent's life in this little scene. Poor Alec. Gru does reluctantly lift the darkness, and that means the crowd can see what's going on. And Taylor immediately uses this as leverage. She's like, hey, I really need to check on Tattletale. You hurt her so bad. And she was surrendering. Regent gets in on this, also playing up like, oh, I'm so scared.
How could we surrender when we know that's how you'll treat us?
Yeah. And Miss Militia is like, this is BS. But Taylor has correctly guessed that Armsmaster cares a lot about how this whole scene looks now.
Yeah, well, especially after the thing with Loom, right?
Yeah, so Armsmaster basically throws Miss Militia under the bus, saying, hey, maybe not a machete. You don't need to be holding a machete up to his neck. And she's like, sir? But as, someone who reports up to him, goes along with it.
Probably hates his guts, like Tattletale said.
Well, if she didn't before, what happens to her is as she changes
She's made to hate her own guts.
The machete into something else, Regent kicks her in the stomach and then I think starts using his power on her. So she's continuously gagging, vomiting, unable to basically get back up to her feet. And in the chaos of that moment, Taylor lunges for Armsmaster to interpose herself between his halberd and the ground, correctly deducing that it is better for her to have her bugs around her by preventing the electrical charge going off, even if it's at the cost of getting stomped on by his halberd a few times. And that works, and her spider silk insulates her enough from the electric shock that she's not kind of worse for the wear. Gru brings the darkness back down, and there's more chaos. Armsmaster has bugs on him now, so he's getting out of there. Taylor's trying to get clear, but Velocity decides to step up and fight her. And we get this scene of Taylor versus Velocity, who's a different sort of speedster than Battery. Basically, he's kind of like an annoying ghost. He, gets kind of insubstantial, and that makes him fast, but it also makes him weak. But he can also move so fast that it's kind of like being buffeted about by a hurricane, even though a single blow might feel like you're being punched by an 8-year-old. And Taylor's solution to Velocity is to, 1, get them covered in darkness, because she guesses correctly that Gru's darkness would sort of slow down Velocity's power in some way. Then her bugs get onto Velocity, that also slows him down. Then she pepper sprays him. he kind of yakety saxes away to get some water for his eyes. And while he's distracted, she pulls out her baton and smacks him right in the nuts. Unfortunately, doesn't seem like he's wearing a cup, so I think we have to chalk this up as another dick destroyed.
My first note that I actually wrote on this chapter is, haha, she is such a dick menace. Like, seriously, none of the Cape's, like, genitalia in Brockton Bay are gonna be safe. Like,
Yeah. So Velocity's out of action. Taylor manages to handcuff him down so that even if he recovers in a little bit, he'll still be stuck. And we return to kind of the fight at large. It's Armsmaster versus Gru, Bitch, and the dogs. And he's basically able to take out Gru and the dogs incredibly easily using his tech and, the practice. He seems to be, like, very fit and capable in hand-to-hand combat. He's got some very cool moves with his halberd. And Taylor doesn't really know what she's going to do at this point. Lisa tries a gambit where she's recovered enough that she's going to draw a gun and take a hostage, but Armsmaster had planned for that, knocks her out again. Maybe doesn't fully knock her out, but throws her across the room, destroys her gun, and we get this really nice face-off between Bitch and Armsmaster.
yes.
Where basically he's like, hey, I have been, playing nice with your dogs, but I can't promise if you keep sending them after me, I can't promise they're going to be okay. And she's basically like, you fuck with my dogs, I will end you. Like, if not now, then later.
Like, we'll track you down. It's a bad move.
And Armsmaster is like, he starts to kind of, like, strategically monologue about how awesome he is and how much he's prepared and how he's better than Gru and, like...
quote unquote, their leader, Gru.
yeah. That, Tattletale's knocked out. He says, Skitter's not a threat. And Bitch rips off her mask at this. Bears way too many teeth in a smile and is like, Loon underestimated Skitter too. And Taylor's like, okay, you're throwing it to me. Great. So we're setting up for a Skitter versus Armsmaster confrontation. She asks to be cloaked in darkness. She runs to one of the patio doors, manages to get outside, dodges Armsmaster's, like, little wrecking ball shot.
I think she actually doesn't dodge it.
You're right. She tries to dodge it. She gets hit anyway. It's, like, maybe a little bit more of a glancing blow. But she basically gets tied up in this, like, ball and chain right at the balcony's edge. She loops the chain around the sort of fence post, so he has to approach her. And she starts really kind of getting angry or defiant. She starts thinking, I'm not going down like this, especially not with Emma here, right, to witness it. Earlier, she sees Emma, like, when the lights come up,
Emma's
cowering with her family, and that, like, immediately makes her angry.
Yeah.
And as Armsmaster approaches her, they have a little moment where they can talk without anybody else overhearing. She's like, hey, my offer still stands. And he's like, what, you haven't made any progress in, the past few weeks or whatever? And she runs this gambit basically of like, okay, here's what you do. You let me go, but you say that it's all part of the master plan. And then when I bring in the boss, you'll look awesome. And he's basically like, nah, bird in the hand. I got you guys now. And then Taylor says, you were right. And he's like, I know. But he should have let her finish the thought because she's saying, you were right. This was over from the moment we stepped into the room. And she releases a cache of 700 hornets that she's been keeping protected and insulated under her armor just to completely overwhelm him. Once again, she throws herself under the halberd to prevent him from immediately killing all of the bugs. And she's getting beat up. He's getting stung. And thankfully, the rest of the Undersiders come to her rescue in this moment. Bitch.
They were summoned.
Tattletale and Brutus jump off. Taylor grabs the halberd from Armsmaster, throws it off of the building, right? They're so like 26 stories up. He, is flailing around, covered in hornets. Taylor catches Gru's hand, ends up on Judas. Regent and Angelica are following. They're all bounding away. And we learn that when Taylor and Armsmaster were out on the patio, Taylor had used her bugs to spell out, let's go, on the wall. And she leaves them there in that configuration to add to the embarrassment as the Undersiders bound away into the night. And the last note of the chapter is Taylor clutching tight to Gru, thinking, oh, well, this is probably my last job as an Undersider.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the chapter.
Yeah. That image of the bug spelling out those words on the wall in front of this, like, completely trashed room full of, like, all these innocent bystanders and these disabled superheroes, that's going to be so viral. I don't know, like, 2011, they don't seem to have, like, social media. I mean...
Well, they do, but it's Parahumans
like,
Online.
Yeah.
It's like social media from, like, 2005
well
or
after
2003.
Facebook, but Facebook might not have been super mainstream yet, I don't know. But yeah, it is absolutely going to go viral. It's gonna travel around.
Someone's gonna take a picture of it. It's gonna be in the paper.
Oh yeah, it is. I'm sure there are gonna be a lot of significant pictures of this. I mean, it's so humiliating.
Yeah.
It's so delightfully humiliating.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful that Armsmaster, like, I feel like Armsmaster being so competent and so unlikable in this chapter, in the previous chapter, it's just, like, really effective. Because, like, the rest of the heroes do go down pretty easy to, like, the excellent forethought, plan that the Undersiders came in with.
Right.
He really doesn't. He's really tough. He really embodies the actual challenge of facing off against the Protectorate. And it's so satisfying to see, like, because he's so smug the whole time also.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I've got you, bird in the hand. Like, he's not negotiate, you can see why when he thinks he's won, he's not going to be like, yeah, I'll let you go in the confidence that you'll pull off your plan that you don't seem to be pulling off very well so far. The plan that I thought was stupid from the start. Like, he's not, I can see why he doesn't do that.
Yeah.
But he's wrong to be smug. She had 700 hornets inside her costume.
Yeah. Well, there's so many great details about it. I do wonder the empathic shielding thing that he talks about. The way that I read that in this scene is that he is doing something to, like, keep him from having a strong, like, anger response. Like, because I feel like he's very unemotional the whole time. He acts like he's smug and pompous, but he doesn't seem to, like, get angry when Lisa starts, bringing up his stuff, right? He sounds unbothered.
Yeah.
Like, he knocks Tattletale out, Gru calls him a bastard, and he's like, apparently according to her. But he just says it completely coolly.
I think that's just him, though. I think that's the persona he's projecting. I think the empathic shielding is, like, to keep people from influencing his moods.
Well, maybe. I think it's...
with their powers, that is. I mean, not...
Maybe.
I mean, I think normal words will still do it.
Because he was so angry on the ferry terminal, right? It's like,
true.
I feel like...
But this is him in front of a crowd. He's being his character.
True. Well, okay, maybe I'm reading too much into it. The contrast I want to highlight is when they're going up against Glory Girl, right?
Oh, yeah.
She falls for that emotional manipulation, takes the bait, right? And doesn't control the situation, right? Like, he gets baited, just gets Tattletale to shut up, right?
Yeah.
Like,
he controls the situation almost the entire time.
Right. And I don't think he's making an emotional mistake when he lets Regent get the upper hand on Miss Militia. I think that's a calculated move, right?
Yeah.
It's not that he's afraid or something. He's judging, like, okay, yeah, we should.
He's afraid of popular opinion, but, like, it might be a correct judgment that,
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. But the bit right at the end when she says you were right, I think that's when he seals his fate. Because his lie detector is going to say, like, yes, she said I was right, and she believes it, right?
Yeah.
Because a lie detector is not going to pick up on the sort of syntactic ambiguity
it doesn't mean what you want it to mean.
Throwing his words back in his face. Yeah. I mean, my read was that his unflappability was part of his prep.
I think it was part of his prep psychologically speaking. I don't think it's part of his tech.
Sure.
I think it's more interesting also if it's just, this is how he chooses to present himself and he's working really hard for it.
Yeah.
And that it's part of him, like, he just needs to be, I mean, talk about your control freaks, like, he needs to be in control of the situation, and that's how that's how he's risen to command, and that's what he wants. He wants to be in control of all of the situations.
Yeah.
He wants to be top dog.
Yeah,
and he is very effective.
Yeah, your larger point about him being a good antagonist is so correct, right?
Yeah.
He's so capable. I love that he has prepared specifically for them. Like, that's exactly what I want to see.
He's now their nemesis because he's like, I've developed something to counter all of your things.
Right. And like, the tiny little bit of information advantage they have, the fact that he thinks that Tattletale is psychic, like, lets Tattletale get that one piece of information, like, focus on his reputation that allows them to kind of, like, stay with it long enough to escape.
I mean, to be fair, I don't know that he would have been able to guard against her abilities even if he'd known what they were, but he thinks he's guarded against them.
Well, he might have not let her talk.
That's true. That's true, actually. He could have shut her up earlier if he hadn't thought he'd, taken her power away effectively.
Yeah. Okay, I mean, this is such a tangent, but if psychic shielding is a thing, that means psychics are a thing, right?
That's a good question. I did actually have a note on that. I feel like he must just be, like, protecting his nervous system in some way, which, like, you could do even if you don't believe anyone can affect your nervous system. Yeah,
sort of like he has, like, lead in his, armor to protect, electromagnetically or something.
Well, even if you don't believe that someone can truly read people's minds, which I don't know why you'd ever think that. People can do all sorts of weird things in this world. I think people want to think that because it makes them feel better. They do know that there are people who influence emotions. Like Gamelin can do that. Right. So I guess guarding against influence and reading would be maybe a similar mechanism.
But then, is he... I don't think the chapter proves that he is impervious to Regent's power. I don't know that Regent ever tries to use it on him.
No, that's true.
It seemed like he was including Regent in that. And so it's really unclear to me, and I'm curious...
But Regent does affect people's nervous systems, right? So if psychic shielding is a protection of the nervous system, that would potentially protect against Regent's power.
So, this is my big open question. And this is my big open question is Armsmaster impervious to Regent's power, and if so, how? I'm really curious about what specifically he did. But we probably don't know enough about Armsmaster or the physics or metaphysics of Regent's power to get into it.
I could see it coming up at some point if they face him again.
Yeah.
But I feel like there is sort of like a Tinker Tech is sort of a hand-wavy thing. Like, it's a very interesting and individualized thing. Yeah. So it can get away with just it can just do a lot of things.
Yeah. And speaking of Tinker Tech, his specialty is so good for creating this nemesis. Just the fact that he's only limited by...
what he can think of.
Yeah, what he can prepare.
And he's so focused on preparation.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like the kid who does absolutely all of the homework and is up against the genius who just only pays attention 50% of the time. And this other kid's I'm just as smart as you. I mean, I spent 20 more hours than you preparing for this test, but look, I got one more point. And the other kid's I don't care.
Yeah.
I feel like that's him and the rest of the Protectorate leadership across the country. He's no, look, I'm just as good. And they're sure, buddy.
Yeah, that's interesting. Right. Tattletale is saying that his underlings hate him, but you're sort of speculating that his overlings would think he's a tryhard. And
I mean, I'm being a little unfair because, in fact, preparation is incredibly effective in this kind of situation, as we've seen. I mean, we saw it with the Undersiders, too. The fact that they came in prepared with this very specific plan worked really well. They took out all but 3 capes and then eventually escaped.
Yeah.
So, preparation is actually really valuable in this setting.
Yeah. It's so crazy, right? Armsmaster on a different day could have taken down the whole team, right?
A little bit luckier,
the sort
very
of
close.
The power levels, right, are off the charts in terms of sort of Taylor and Gru, I guess, versus Velocity are able to take him out, but it really requires 4 out of the 5 Undersiders to beat Armsmaster, and
Regent's the only one who doesn't really get involved there.
Yeah.
It's
wild.
I loved Taylor's read of Lisa's analysis of Armsmaster. It's she really put herself on the line to give us that specific piece of information.
Yes,
that makes that really important.
Yes,
that was just such a she understands how Tattletale operates in battle.
Yeah, and the whole chapter is such good team team play from the Undersiders. They're communicating, they're helping each other out, right? They're all on the same wavelength. The way Regent picks up what Taylor's doing with the reputation gambit when the lights come on, right? Like, I feel bad for him because, like, the bit where, like, he makes a joke about, like, hey, I got a knife to my throat over here. And Gru's like, yeah, man, whatever.
I think that was Gru being strategic. Like, I don't think that was him trying to be mean.
No, I know, but, like, I could see...
That was him trying to downplay the holes that Armsmaster had over them.
Yeah.
It's somewhat protective to Regent if they don't think that, you know...
But my point is, even after that, he's such a team player. Immediately, he's doing... It's like what it reminds me of is, like, the soccer player thing where you get fouled, but then you immediately fall on the ground and start crying. Like, I feel like they're all, when the lights come on, they're like, oh no, the big strong heroes, they're hurting us. Like, stop,
Yes,
please.
they're diving. Yeah,
they're diving.
Yeah.
They're diving. He's good at taking a dive.
I have a new theory for the boss.
Ooh.
I think he and Armsmaster were best friends when they were children.
Whoa.
But then Armsmaster got powers, and suddenly he had no time for his childhood friend. It's like kind of what could have, like, it's like a dark mirror version of, like, Taylor and Emma. I mean, maybe it's what actually happened with Taylor and Emma, where Emma got powers and turned on her. But, like, Taylor has powers, but Emma's the one that turned on her. But Armsmaster got powers and was just like, I don't need this friend. I'm climbing this ladder. Like, no, don't need you, buddy. You're not cool like I am. You don't have powers.
The boss has that left behind feeling.
Yes, and so the boss still doesn't have powers, but now he has a team of people with powers who he can pay $1.25 million to humiliate, specifically Armsmaster.
Taylor's going to find this so relatable.
Yes, it's a foil for her situation with Emma.
I hope that Armsmaster in his spare time uses his power to make tiny little miniature, like, dollhouse furniture and stuff. It's so cute. He can make, like, a teeny tiny little fully working refrigerator.
No, I'd like him too much if that was the case. He's like one of those people in the I've Got a Dream song in Tangled. Like, no. Wait, what if the boss is actually Armsmaster's little sister?
Whoa.
Yeah, I mean, Lisa could be lying about the gender of the boss.
What? Tell me more.
Armsmaster, like, abandoned her. Like, abandoned their family. And now is off doing all this stuff, but, like, left his family behind when they needed him because he was climbing this Protectorate ladder.
Yeah. Ooh.
There's so many different kinds of relationships the boss could have had to Armsmaster.
Yes.
Obviously, I hope they were, like, childhood sweethearts.
Yeah, also, even better. Better. That's so good.
I think if the boss is a man, probably they weren't childhood sweethearts, but I will be more interested if that's the case.
Okay, a question for you about Armsmaster.
Yes.
Why doesn't he reveal Taylor's insinuation plot earlier on?
To the other Undersiders? Or to the world in general? I
think both. I have some theories, but I was just wondering. There's, like, a beat in the chapter where she wants to put darkness on him to stop that from happening. But there's no reason he couldn't have said it earlier. And I wonder,
I think it's probably a tricky gamble for him.
It's confusing.
Yeah.
Right? And it might make him look bad. It's tough to know.
It's hard to know how it would play. It's like, oh, you were talking to you were trying to get her to change sides?
Right.
No, she's on your side?
The scariest, most horrifying villain of Brockton Bay.
Is friends with you?
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's a hard situation to control, and it doesn't seem like he trusts that she'll actually follow through with it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
I also think it's just he doesn't need to. Like, if he felt like it would be to his advantage, I'm sure he would.
Yeah.
But sort of like he says at the end, he's like, I don't know. I don't.
And I think he wants to keep his reputation clean.
Right.
He doesn't hobnob with this scary new villain.
And I guess
who I want my vision for the future of Brockton Bay now that Skitter is on the rise. Everyone's going to start wearing such protective cups. Like, just like, I was going to say jockstrap. Is jockstrap, are they protective enough? Is the jockstrap protective, or is that more for holding in place?
I don't know the specifics.
Terminology. All right, well, they're going to be wearing cups. Yeah, just like
I think
codpieces galore. Yeah,
codpieces. What we want.
Yeah, so that Skitter can see you have one. She won't target you. Bug-proof codpieces.
Yeah. Now there's a tinker,
Yes. This is what Armsmaster is going to make for Velocity.
Yeah.
A bug-proof codpiece. Anyway, yes, I do think because he's so reputationally focused and he's very single-minded about it, like he's not playing complicated games.
And he doesn't he's not in it to embarrass her, right? He's not going to be like, well, did you all know about what Skitter said to me?
Right, he's not playing mind games with them. Yeah. He just has control of the situation.
Right. And he never once doubts that he has it all under control.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Perhaps at the end, when he is covered in 700 hornets, he has some doubts. But I think even then, he's mostly focused on getting the hornets off his face. That's true.
He doesn't have room for doubts. I love that Taylor took the halberd at the end. I really wanted her to keep it and immediately realized that, of course, she couldn't because Tinker Tack, we've already learned, can be tracked. If Armsmaster, the most prepared man on Earth, did not put tracking devices in his halberd, what even is happening in the world? So I understand why she couldn't keep it, but that was so satisfying. That's his emblem.
Exactly.
That's what comes on the action figures.
It was just it's the most embarrassing thing possible.
Yes.
Yeah, and I love the way Taylor fights Armsmaster, specifically disabling the halberd.
Yeah.
This thing that she does.
Throwing her body under it.
Exactly. And, well, first of all, she correctly notes Armsmaster is a melee fighter and I'm a ranged fighter, so I should not be close to him if I can help it.
Yeah.
But when she's in that situation, she is like, well, you know what? I'm here. You know what I can do. The one thing that I can do to prevent my swarm from being destroyed is to just throw my body in the way between the halberd and the floor and take a beating. And the fact that, we've seen her do this before, she's just ready to get out there when she was going in to save Neuter, right? She doesn't really have any, powers to protect herself, but she's like, we gotta get in there.
Personally throwing herself in there.
She's
good
not going to just stay back and use her bugs. Right. Yeah. No, that's true. But I also love the symbolism because Taylor's swarm, as we've discussed, is totally disposable. She needs them as a tool or whatever. But in this moment, she is basically saying, these bugs are too valuable. I will let myself get beat up to save all of these bugs. And of course, she's doing it so that she can use them. It's not because
she's not preserving them some
cute,
noble way.
Nice little bugs. But I really love
nice
the
little 700 hornets.
Yeah, that she's willing to do that.
Absolutely. I love how it just shows nothing is being held back in these battles. Really. Yeah. She's using everything at her disposal, including her body as a shock absorber. I love how we saw her pushing the creative use of her powers further in this. Mm-hmm. I mean, in the first fight against the ABB, when she goes off with Bitch, we see her having bugs inside her armor. This feels like a level up from that.
Yes.
It's not just some bugs in her armor, it's 700 hornets.
Right. And that's what this was for. It was if I'm ever stuck, I can use the bugs in this kind of situation. Yeah.
A reserve of hornets, yeah. And also, we see her doing bug writing, which we'd never seen before.
I know.
Which was so cool. She says, I sent them inside where I needed them. And I was like, ooh, what are they going to do? Are they going to protect an escape route or crowd control? What could this be? And it was this huge message to the team on the wall. And I just love that.
It's so good.
And it's not it's not anything that she didn't know how to do before. It's just something we haven't seen before. It's a new creative leap.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, and it's so
that's
satisfying.
The kind of thing I think we're going to keep seeing from her and from them, from all the characters in this.
Yeah.
Should we talk about some power interactions?
Sure.
Because again, I mean, that's what's so satisfying about watching all these capes in battle. No two people have the same abilities, and every combination is gonna have different interactions.
Yeah.
Gru's power is really effective against a lot of people. It means that Armsmaster's bug destroying tech doesn't work as well. The electric
it means he can't communicate well with Miss Militia.
Yeah. It means that Velocity can't move as fast, just like Shadowstalker. There are just so many dampening effects that his darkness has, which is just really useful. And it's great that he can kind of throw it anywhere. He is such a ranged fighter. And it can just exist in multiple places at once. Taylor can call out shadow me and.
Yeah. Oh, it's so cool.
Yeah. I gotta say, she said that, and then she's like, ugh, what a time for cave speak, or caveman speak, or whatever. And I was like, you don't want long sentences in the middle of battle. This actually is the time for that. That was perfect.
I also love the dynamic with Regent and Miss Militia, where basically either one of them can completely dominate the other one. It just depends on who gets the upper hand first.
Right. Yes.
And the bit, like, Taylor versus Velocity, again, is one she works through in her head. Okay, Velocity's coming at me. He's moving me towards the window. He's basically going to force me to be, like, knocked off the building or onto the floor. And then once I'm on the floor, he's going to take me out. And so she, like, works through all of this and then has to, it's darkness, bugs, and then finally pepper spray is the thing that lets her get the upper hand. And it's another great example of, like, that's part of her inventory. It's not part of her power.
Yeah.
It's the kind of thing that really sets her apart.
The handcuffs are also in her inventory. Yeah. It's something that sets her apart, but it's also something Armsmaster has. Like, it's something they have in common.
They
both are very prepared.
True. Yeah.
She hasn't thought through how to disable everyone's power. That's not really in her wheelhouse, but she has supplies.
Yeah. And this isn't a power thing, but I really love that Taylor is the person in this scene who has the most information of anybody, because she knows Armsmaster. She knows about the lie detector. And, like, she is the one who wins. Like, it's a close call. Armsmaster has almost all the information, but not quite enough.
Yeah. And it really is what Lisa said, like, the thing about his reputation that gets him.
And I was just, like, annoyed that Taylor hadn't been able to tell Tattletale about the lie detector in advance.
Yeah.
It's like, she's like, oh, I kind of wish I'd been able to help her out with this, but, like...
How could you have told her? How would you know?
Right.
Yeah.
But my reaction in the moment was like, ugh, Taylor, why?
Yeah, so they don't know that she met Armsmaster on the roof after they first met her, right?
No.
Because she never would have, though. If she had told Lisa that story, Lisa might have realized there were pieces missing. She might have been able to figure out what happened.
Right.
Tattletale is not someone you can safely lie to.
Right. I mean, probably they knew Armsmaster was coming.
Right, but they thought she was going to leave.
But, right, why would they think Taylor would stick around?
Right, yeah.
They
thought she was a bad guy. But is she a bad guy? I do think that Armsmaster was able to read her with the lie detector and know that she was telling the truth. Like, he doesn't call her on lying.
Yeah.
He's just like, you said you were going to get this done weeks ago. And she's like, yeah, no, but I'm gonna. And she also says, and he doesn't think this is a lie either, I guess, that, like, this is the only way for you to get out of this is to... Because she's still trying to help him out, honestly. Like, she's not seeing him as the villain, as the antagonist. She's saying, like, look, if you let me go, you can then say it was a plan to bring these guys down.
Yeah.
Because I will come to you with this information. And I think he takes that as truth, because I think she still does mean it, based on her last sentence of the chapter.
I don't want to have to hand it to him, but I actually think that this is a good trait in a hero. She is trying to tangle him. She's really trying to say, you and me, we're in this plot together. Now, you have to try and be accountable for all of that stuff that just happened and say, like, spin it as part of your master plan, because it's going to pay off down the road.
I'm not going to be in a tangle. Yeah.
Right. And he just says, no.
That's a great point, yeah, that he is sort of choosing to slice through the tangle and be like, nope, maybe that would benefit me, but no. I think that's why he didn't out Taylor in front of the crowd also, because that's the kind of thing that would... He probably also knows he doesn't have that kind of intelligence. Like, he is a good preparer, he's a good tinker, but he doesn't have the sort of crafty, like, 5-dimensional chess type of thinking where he's like...
Interesting, so he might know his own limits.
He knows his own style, I guess. He knows that he's better with a straightforward style. And that's probably part of why he's so skeptical of Taylor's plan, because Taylor's plan is very tangled.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, that's stupid. Just tell us what you know now and, like, be one of us. You can join the wars, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I have this complicated plan. And he's like, that's dumb. No.
Yeah. And it's also like he's the head of the Protectorate here. He gets to make all the shots. She's still she's an outsider, right? Like, of course she needs to follow his orders. He's not going to kind of get onto an equal playing field with Skitter. And
I do still think, like, it's annoying that he doesn't take the deal, because you want, like, him to be like, oh yes, I will be your ally main character. But I can see why he doesn't. Doesn't seem like a good bet.
Yeah.
She's been with them for weeks. She carved out Lung's eyes. Like, he doesn't mention that, but I'm sure he knows.
Yeah. Well, so at the end, Taylor says this was over from the moment we got in the room, covers him with 700 hornets, and throws his halberd off the building. What is the future of her relationship with Armsmaster?
I mean, I think that he sealed it for himself when he didn't take her deal. She was planning most recently to go to Miss Militia with the information. I don't know if Miss Militia's still her target. I don't think anything happened here today that would make her not Taylor's choice of person to talk to. Maybe she's second in command. I don't know.
Sure.
It does seem like Armsmaster is someone who holds a grudge.
Yeah.
And even if Taylor does follow through on her plan, which would be a wild twist despite the thing that she said she's going to do since the beginning. Like, in a way, it's like the most obvious thing to happen, but it would be such a twist if it actually happened. If she does follow through on her plan, I do think relations would be strained.
Yeah.
At least she hasn't destroyed his dick.
True. Yet, I mean, if he's the nemesis, this feels like burning a bridge.
Maybe.
In a way that the Undersiders embarrassing the heroes is one level of like, can you come back from this?
Yeah.
But this specific final confrontation with Armsmaster really feels to me like this is Skitter embarrassing Armsmaster.
It is, but I feel like the fact that she gave him a good faith choice beforehand, like, feels to me like
maybe he respects game.
She should be able to go to him and say, like, look, I told you to let me go, and you could say it was all part of your plan, and I would turn in the Undersiders. Now I'm doing it. Like, it's too late for you to do that. Like, I tried to let you come out of this better. You know, we can just do what we can with these.
Maybe pieces. He is that reasonable.
He's probably not. But I do think, like, she really gave it a good faith effort at not embarrassing him. And I think even if he probably would bear a grudge, but, like, I think certainly in front of the other heroes, if they, like, knew this full story, they'd be like, oh yeah, I mean, you should have gone with her, Armsmaster. Like, this is on you. Like, she gave you the option.
Wait, so do you think that he should have let her go?
Oh no, just with the benefit of retrospect.
Oh.
Just like...
that he shouldn't hold a grudge.
That I think the other heroes, if they had the full information about this interaction, would give her the credit of, like, oh yeah, you did try to give him a chance to save face. Like, kind of on him if he didn't take it. Like, that was a gamble that he chose. I think he chose a pretty reasonable side of it, but, like... Yeah. I don't know.
I really am not trying to foreshadow things.
Yeah.
I'm just... The thing that I'm interested in is, like... So, and Taylor even thinks about it, like, with Velocity, again, she just...
she's like, I'll have to make it up to him later.
And then she thinks, I'll have to make it up to him later. And I'm like, what are you thinking, Taylor? Like, really? Like, she thought the same thing about Clock Blocker, too.
Oh
and so that's the track that I'm following. It's just from Taylor's perspective. She keeps thinking, you know, like, well, you know, I hit him in the dick with a baton, but, like, I can make it up to him.
I can come back from this.
So what I'm wondering is this was over from the moment we entered the room. Does she think she can come back from this with Armsmaster? That's kind of what the stakes are for me. Like, I understand, you know, the larger perspective. But
maybe not. Yeah, because, I mean, she did try to give him a chance, but, like, he said no, and that might have been the end. And she might think that's the end.
And she does end the chapter thinking that she's going to leave the Undersiders, take the boss's information to the heroes in some way. Like, that's the implication. So it's not that
Right, she's not thinking, like, oh, I burned this bridge with Armsmaster, and now I can't join the heroes.
Right. Just last chapter, she was saying, I'm sorry, under her breath to Armsmaster. So, like, it makes a difference to me, is, like, is she done with that now, or is she going to go back to being, like, the next time that she's humiliating him, being like, I'm sorry, like, you're just not listening to me. But, yeah, we'll see.
Can you imagine Armsmaster's perspective? This girl is like, no, I'm gonna get you all this information on this villain group, and you're like, that's a dumb plan, just give it to me now. Oh no, you're still going, okay, you're going back to them. I don't think this is gonna go very well. Then she, you know, carves out Lung's eyes. Then she shows up with the villains at your gala event, absolutely like humiliates all the other heroes in front of the crowd, and then is like, no, let me go. And then you could say it was part of your plan. You'd be like, what? No.
Yeah, of course. It's so annoying. And they're all...
You're like, you didn't have to do any of this, girl.
He's a grown-ass man, and these are all, like, 16-year-olds.
Yeah.
It's so annoying. But that's what makes it so great.
Yeah. Can we talk about, speaking of 16-year-olds, can we talk about bitch?
Yes.
Oh, what? It was such like a brief part of the chapter, but it was so good.
Yes.
Where they both kind of stand up for each other. Like, Taylor stands up for her in the narration. Taylor's like, yeah, Armsmaster is clearly trying to incentivize her to, like, back down, but he doesn't know, bitch.
Yeah, that's so nice.
And then Armsmaster's like, your friends are all, like, you know, useless. Like, Skitter's a non-factor. And bitch is like, that's what Luke thought.
Yeah, it's so good.
And it's so satisfying because it is true. And then Taylor completely humiliates him.
I just love, they see each other as value, right?
Yes.
Like, it really is, you know.
They have this, like, not yet close, but, like, relatively balanced and, like, respectful in the sense of, like, having a good estimate of each other.
Yes,
relationship.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Right, and right, as the chapter proves, bitch sees Taylor much more clearly than Armsmaster does.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
No, because bitch knows. And bitch is the one who was against her joining the group. Yeah. Not necessarily because she thought she was useless, but she was against her joining the group. And then she's like, yeah, Loong wrote her out. Because, like, bitch saw what Taylor did with Loong.
Yeah.
Like, bitch knows.
I also, like, it's not the cleverest thing in the world, but I really love her sass back at Armsmaster because he's like, Rachel Litt, aka Hellhound, and she says, Armsmaster, aka Dickhole. Love it. No notes.
Oh, man. Now I'm thinking about Rachel witnessing Taylor taking out Loong. And just like, I think that's when she fell in love. That's why she had to give Taylor her jacket. Because Taylor's being held up by a dragon and she manages to take him out. Like,
that's true. If you're in the King Kong situation and the person in the other hand manages to take down King Kong, you're gonna fall hard.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
That's good stuff.
Yes. This is now the ship that I want for Taylor.
Yes. All in on Wolf Spider. We were just talking about how Taylor is seen. There's this bit where she's just defeated Velocity, and she's still in Gru's darkness. Though every impulse told me to get out of the darkness and get a look at what was going on, I stayed put, crouching and feeling out with my bugs, with their legs and bodies serving as thousands upon thousands of tiny fingers I could use to feel out my surroundings. I got a sense of the situation. I love that so much. It's such a good reminder of how effective she is just doing nothing. And the idea of Skitter just lurking in this cloud of darkness while knowing everything that's going on in the room.
There's such a theme of knowledge being
so
power
cool.
in this.
Yeah.
That's literally Lisa's power. And
then
Taylor has that as part of hers.
She just steps out of the darkness, right? Again, a very cool visual to help. And it's actually a really nice moment because she's like seeing Gru and the dogs get beat up. And she's like, well, I don't know what I'm doing yet, but I gotta help. And
I gotta
shows
be
up.
there. Yeah.
But then when Armsmaster looks at her and says, Velocity? And she's like, dealt with. And she thinks, like, oh, and like, I was feeling so like worried inside. But again,
no, she looked cool.
What it looks like is
she steps out of the darkness.
She steps out of the darkness, right, brushing her hands off. Yeah. Yeah, just like.
Velocity who, man?
Right. Arguably the scariest of all of the Undersiders, who are all incredibly scary.
That was witnessed by this room of powerful people, including Emma.
But the fact that Taylor feels her, like, anxiety and stress so strongly is such a good counterweight to how she presents to the world, right? It's just like really like being in Skitter's head is nothing like watching Skitter operate because she is like so in control and commanding of everything. It's one of the delights of being in this close first-person perspective, and especially in Taylor's head. Like, she's such a good protagonist for that reason. All right, so a slightly different thread to pull on. I am following this. Is Taylor having her bugs attack the guests? When the dark comes up, she says, I could see all of the guests covered with the stinging and biting insects. So, like, to me, the obvious thing here is, like, she's just letting the bugs kind of do some non-targeted damage here. It's possible that she's, like, doing a thing where, like, I'm having them crawl on them, but not sting or bite them, so they'll be scared, but not actually get stung or bitten. But I feel like she would have told us if that's what she was doing.
I think she would have told us if they were biting, because she has all these bugs completely under her control. She's not just letting them do their thing.
Yeah.
I think she...
So it's just for fear.
I think it's for fear, for information, and for, like, you know, she can use these stinging and biting insects in various ways if she needs to. Yeah. But she is trying to control these people. Yeah. And I think we would hear, like, if they were being stung and stuff, I think there would be, like, reactions.
People would be going, ow, ow.
Well, I think there would be, like, people would be more, I do think she's very responsible about the lives of civilians. She doesn't know who has allergies to, like, bee stings or whatever other stings. And, I mean, I think there's just so much going on that she's not telling us about the civilians. Like, they hardly come into things at all. But, like, I think if they were being stung, we'd know.
Maybe I should give Taylor the benefit of the doubt more. I just wanted to bring it up.
Yeah.
What about Emma, though, in this scene? There were only a couple of moments where she's mentioned, but they were both really intense emotional beats for Taylor.
Yeah, the one where Emma's mom is hugging her, and Taylor, like, has a really strong reaction to that, of course. Yeah. And then the one where she's just like, I'm not gonna fail like this, not in front of Emma and her, like, asshole lawyer dad. Yeah. Which is, it's so fun to see that, like, spurring her.
Yeah, well, it really reframes this whole thing about Taylor where she wants to be a hero. She wants to be seen as a good guy. In this scene, it really gets reduced to an audience of one person, Emma. And it's like...
It's not about being seen as a good guy. It's about being seen as powerful.
Right. But it's a little bit the sort of, like, the best revenge is living well. It's like what she wants.
She wants to win the breakup.
Yeah. Part of it is like, that's so insightful. No, but I think... I
mean, because in the eyes of the school, like, Emma is winning this breakup by a mile.
Yeah. No,
Taylor is nobody and Emma is queen of the roost.
Yeah. But, like, to that insight, that really ties together Taylor's desire to go out on the streets and be a cape to the trauma of her friendship falling apart with Emma. And, like, a really... It really gels together in a way that it hadn't quite clicked for me before this chapter. Seeing that in this moment be such a button for her.
But she also still doesn't want... I think for understandable reasons, doesn't want Emma to know who she is.
Oh, of course.
But, and, like, she does have the thought that, like, will Emma recognize my voice?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
I mean, you've been wondering this.
Will she recognize her voice plus her hair?
Right.
Like, that's a strong combination.
Right.
How she stands, like...
Yikes. I mean, that would be something. The moment with her mom is really sad and, like really upsetting to think about, because just the fact that she is so viscerally, like, jealous that Emma still has her mom, and, like...
And Emma threw the pain of Taylor losing her mom back in her face.
Yeah, and just, like, it totally makes sense, but it's really sad that it hurts Taylor to see Emma just having a family being something that threatens her and feels unfair. Yeah. And, like, of course, you know, it's unfair that Taylor lost her mom, but, like, you know, I feel like those feelings of hate have to be so strong to, like, look at someone be with their family and, like, be mad about it.
Yeah. I mean, justifiably so.
Yeah. It's a really good detail.
Yeah. But Emma is basically a non-agent in this. I was wondering if this is when she was going to burst onto the scene. It seems like no, but maybe, that this wouldn't gel with my other theories about the friendship breakup and the reasons behind it. But this, as I've said before, is the kind of event that could give civilians superpowers. So,
True.
We'll see. If Emma wasn't a cape before, she could be one now. Or she could have the potential to be one.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder, in this situation where knowledge is power, where Armsmaster has been studying them, I wonder if it will become significant that Armsmaster thinks Gru is their leader when that is not actually the case.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm better than your leader, Gru. And I was like, what? Like, Gru has sort of acted as figurehead when they've needed one, though I don't think Armsmaster was at that meeting.
He is sort of I feel like what we've seen so far is he's the leader as far as everybody else is concerned.
Yes,
but not internally.
As far as he's the only one who didn't want to do this mission.
Exactly.
And they still did the mission.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Wow, so they're all going to get $250,000 now, and they're potentially going to get to meet with the boss.
Yeah.
That wasn't a hard promise, but that was an implied promise.
A voice, a seat at the table.
Yeah. A table that currently is just the boss, I guess, or not. Could be a council.
Who knows?
It would be really funny if the meeting at whatever that tavern was, like, was kind of purporting to be the Council of Villains in Brockton Bay, but it's actually not at all.
There's
like,
there's a whole other
shadow
level.
council of villains that really controls everything. And the Undersiders are one of their, like, pieces that they move around.
That's really fun.
Yeah.
That's really fun.
I could take this back as soon as we meet the boss, but I'm so pleased for the boss that the heroes got humiliated like this. Especially like we were saying, Armsmaster is so unlikable in this. And that's kind of necessary because, like, these are, in theory, the good guys, so, like, humiliating them kind of sucks, but maybe they deserve it.
Armsmaster is so off. So I don't think I have a strong opinion on Miss Militia so far. Yeah. I feel like I had a sort of good impression of her from Interlude 3, but, like, she's kind of just a normal person in this chapter.
I feel like I don't love this thing where she's, like, very, like, I don't know,
Sexy Uncle Sam.
Sexy Uncle Sam coded. Like, I feel like that, but that's just me being like, what is that aesthetic? Like, I don't know anything about her personal, like...
Sure. Yeah. But and I guess Taylor is, like, sort of said, like, well, she's the better option than Armsmaster or whatever. But I do, like... I was just feeling really bad for her just based on what Alec was doing to her.
Situation.
Like, making her vomit and then continuously gag.
Yeah,
like, to keep her out of
awful.
commission. It's one of those things, it's like, well, that's what Alec's power is. That's kind of like what he has to do in order to keep her off the playing field, and so she can't
it's
bring back
it's
a grenade launcher
non-lethal, non-damage causing way to use his power.
But it's so traumatic.
Really unpleasant.
It's gross. Yeah. Okay, back to velocity for a second. I just wanted to talk through some of the details here because it's power stuff again, right? This is one Taylor doesn't really know what the deal is with his power. She sort of gets the effects. He can be insubstantial, kind of like Shadowstalker, kind of like a ghost.
She lets him move really fast, but then have less effect.
But be weak, but also he can, like, perceive faster, so he's really good at reacting to things.
He can't really be damaged in the same way.
And she says, he changed states, and while I had no idea what this meant exactly, whether it was him shifting partially into another dimension or altering the way time or physics worked in relation to himself, I did know that it made him able to move very fast without needing to rest like Battery did. And then we get these little details that Gru's darkness slows him down, which is fascinating because Gru's darkness affects a lot of things. It affects, like, your senses, but they also said that it affects, like, radiation and stuff. And so the, like, trying to figure out, like, well, what is Velocity's power doing that Gru's darkness can, like, block it like that? It's super interesting. And then Taylor's like, I started landing bugs on him, and that also seemed to slow him down. And that reminded me of Vista's power, that she can't bend space around people.
Right, the Manton effect. Like, maybe he can't bring living things with him into this state.
Right. And so that it's kind of slowing him down just because he's touching other living things. It's just really cool. And Wildbow also gets in this thing about Battery and Velocity with speedsters. Like, the actual act of moving at the speeds these guys could manage was an incredible strain on the body.
Yeah.
So like we had with
Battery
Glory Girl
briefly,
having her invulnerability thing as like a bug shield and to like keep her from taking damage as she's flying around super fast, right?
Yeah.
We get this thing with the speedsters. It's like they each basically have to have something that makes it plausible that going as fast as the Flash goes doesn't just shred their body to pieces.
Yeah.
When
and she
they come
does
in
say there are
contact
like a
with
couple
normal
people in
physics.
the world who can do that. But,
Yes. But I just love that take from Wild Bow on sort of having the powers, because obviously they're all physics bendy, like not constrained by real world physics. We want the powers to be cool, but we want them to be in relation to real physics enough that
we want them to have their own interesting constraints.
Real.
Yeah.
Right. We want real physics to give them interesting constraints.
Yeah.
And I love that. And it was just a really fun... Velocity and Velocity's powers was really fun to see for that reason.
I agree. Right, so I need to predict some stuff. I think we're going to head into a meeting with the boss. And I think he's going to be some weirdo businessman, and we're not going to find out for a long time, like, what his actual motivation is.
Okay.
I think also...
So a total cipher, which means Taylor doesn't have much to...
I was going to say, like, if they meet... And Taylor knows what his face looks like, but, like, not like she has a picture of it. She doesn't know his name. Maybe he even protects his face when they meet.
Sure.
Then she might not have a lot of hard information to give to the Protectorate, but, like, how long is she going to hold out? Maybe she'll keep chasing breadcrumbs, especially after this conversation with Armsmaster, who was like, no, I'm not taking that deal. She's like, okay, well, I guess I don't have their support, so might as well keep doing this for a while until I get something really good. Because she's going to need something really good to give them now that they're officially not backing her.
So in that situation, how would she manage the fact that she's like, I'm falling for Brian, I need to wrap this up in a week?
That's a good question. I mean, maybe she kind of, it's like, well, I could give it a few more days and just like try to, stay away from him. A week isn't a hard deadline for her feelings. It's kind of just like, she does need to push
It's sort of trying to keep the plate spinning until she can get something even better.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah. I mean, I do think there's going to be some reason for her to extend her timeline. Probably something else dramatic will happen. I mean, we know there are all these villain wars. So, a lot of moving pieces.
Well, we have one new cape name.
Ooh! Is it the boss?
I cannot tell you that.
No, that's true. You can't. Yeah. Who is it?
Eidolon.
Eidolon. How do you spell that?
Eidolon.
Oh, what does that mean? That means
it's a Greek word.
Yeah.
It's like a shade of a dead person, like a spirit, an apparition, a double. It's sort of like an ancient Greek literature thing. Wikipedia says, in the Homeric epic, it plays two functions, one as an image of the dead, and as the deceased in propria persona. I guess it means like an eidolon is both representation of the dead, but it can also be literally
the actual
the ghost.
Dead. I mean, this doesn't quite apply, but I want it to be someone who can speak to the dead.
Yeah.
We haven't seen anything like that. We did talk about ghosts, but we haven't seen anyone who interacts with ghosts. Maybe they just know a lot about deaths. That's sort of a Lisa power, but much narrower. It's less fun.
Yeah, but something else divination based.
Or maybe there's someone who can die and then just come back. And maybe it weakens them to die, but it doesn't kill them.
Ooh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's very,
That'd
very
be more of like, I feel like they would pick some sort of like Jesus Christ name.
Yeah, or like Revenant or
something.
Revenant
Would be a really good name for that. Yeah, I don't know.
And, well, going into Tangle 6.7, more chapters in this Tangle, leaping from rooftop to rooftop was not
my favorite way to travel. A comfortable way to travel. I do want to say, before we wrap up, I was so nervous about this mission because I felt like they couldn't keep winning. And here they have won again, which I feel ramps up the tension for me. It's like, I'm like, but they have to lose at some point. But them winning is so satisfying, and I'm so glad it has continued to this point.
Yes. Well, hopefully they'll
see what happens.
Hopefully they'll just keep winning forever.
Yeah.
That'd be a very exciting and satisfying story to read.
I would love reading that.
Yeah.
That sounds so fun.
Yeah.
It's like fluff, but like tense fluff.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll find out probably a little bit next time.
On Intro. Worm is a web serial by J.C. McCrae. You can read Worm at parahumans.wordpress.com and support the author at patreon.com/wildbow. Follow us on Tumblr and Blue Sky at Inchworm Podcast, or find our Discord link and any other updates on inchwormpodcast.com.